Flippity, flip, flop, and flapjacks, y'all. The Miami real estate market is still crazy. It's been crazy, and it's probably going to keep on being crazy, but things are starting to change, and I'm here to give you all the information you need, whether you're a buyer or a seller in this market, to make the best informed decision that you possibly can right here in Miami, Florida. I'm Jake Fletcher with the Fletcher Group at eXp Realty, and all my contact info is below if you guys have any questions about Miami or the Miami real estate market. And make sure you smash the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss videos like this in the future, costing you potentially millions of dollars. And also smash the like button because that costs you $0. So let's jump right into this video. What I want to talk about today, guys, is what's going on with buyer sentiment, seller sentiment, what's happening in the market, and all the up-to-date trends and data that you need to know, and try to make sense of it to give you guys my perspective, my expert advice as a real estate professional, and guidance on what I would be doing if I were a buyer or a seller in the Miami-Dade real estate market right now. So definitely grab your pen and pencil, get your notepad, and let's jump into this. So what I wanted to talk about with you guys is a couple things here. So new listings are up nationally 8% year over year. That means that in June of 2021, we were at about 478,000 listings. Right now, nationally, we're at about 516,000 listings. So decent little increase there at 8%. Then our median sales price at the same time has been increasing nationally. Year over year, it's up 18%. Okay, so 379,000 would have been our median sale price in June of 2021, whereas now it's 447,000. So, and at the same time that that's happening, we're seeing sales decreasing across the nation as well. So let me ask you, what happens when you have an increase in supply and a decrease in demand? What happens to price? Prices go down, that's right. So I wanted to share something with you guys here from actually from Realtor.com. So we're talking about home purchase sentiment here, all right? So look at this home buying sentiment. The share of survey respondents say it's a bad time to buy outnumbered those saying it's a good time to buy almost 5-1, leading to the largest net bad time to buy response recorded since 2010. It's down 62%. The thing we got to keep in mind with these home buyer sentiment surveys is they can become self-fulfilling predictions. So what happens if everybody feels like it's a bad time to buy? Well, who's going to go out and buy when everyone around them is talking about, hey, it's a bad time to buy? So whether it's a bad time to buy or not, market sentiment can have a very real effect on what actually ends up happening in the market. So it's something to keep in mind. If home buyer sentiment keeps going down, like, hey, it's a bad time to buy right now, then we're gonna continue to see less sales. And the less sales that we have been seeing is probably a factor of people feeling like, hey, maybe I should wait. Maybe it's not the best time to buy right now, okay? Now, another part of that article that's interesting here, seller sentiment bounces back. So according to that same survey, share of respondents saying it's a good time to sell outnumbered those saying it's a bad time to sell 4-1 in May. So that's no surprise. We know that it's been an incredible time to sell. You'd have to be living under a rock to think that it's not a good time to sell right now. But that share of people who think it's a good time to sell increased 6 percentage points. So what does that tell us? What that tells us is that more people en masse are starting to realize, hey, you know, this is probably the top of the market, right? Like where we're at right now is probably pretty close to the top of the market. And I'm going to explain why. When you have that decrease in demand, when you have the increase in supply, right? You know, you can only have so long before prices are going to start to be affected. I've been telling everybody for the last year and a half, hey, you know, there's a lot of people who made a lot of money in the stock market, you know, in 2020 and 2021 too. But eventually, all those people will have already bought their homes that they were going to buy and spent the money that they were going to spend. It's a finite number of people who did really, really well in the stock market in 2020, mostly in 2021 as well, but mostly 2020. And eventually that party's got to come to an end, right? And then what are you left with? All you're left with then is pent-up demand. Now here in Miami-Dade, you know, we have probably more pent-up demand than a lot of other places in the country because we're one of the hottest housing markets in the country right now. But we're going to start seeing nationally that as demand continues to cool and as inventory continues to increase and as the ability of people to want to pay over list price for stuff starts to dwindle, right? The people who are flush with cash, that party starts to come to an end. There's only one result that can happen, which is sellers have to meet the market. They're going to have to adjust their prices. Last month in May, 16% of sellers had to actually lower their list price in order to sell. So that's really encouraging news for buyers. Another thing that I wanted to share with you guys here from another article from Realtor.com. So mortgage rates resume their climb ahead of key inflation indicator. So Freddie Mac fixed rate for 30-year rebounded from the past 3 weeks of declines. So you can see that here, that little decline that was happening over the last few weeks, and then boom, pop back up, rising 14 basis points to 5.23%. Now keep in mind, that's for if you have optimal credit. For people who don't have good credit or great credit, then your rate's gonna be higher. This is just for like the best credit. So the rise comes in anticipation of Friday's inflation data and mirrors the rebound of the 10-year Treasury, which crested 3% midweek. So what happened is on Wednesday, the Fed released CPI numbers, and those CPI numbers were bad. They weren't good. It showed us that, hey, inflation is not under control, and we're gonna have to keep trying to pull liquidity out of the market. So what do? 10-year, excuse me, the yield on the 10-year Treasury goes through the roof, right? Because that's people, buying those 10-year Treasuries is removing liquidity from the market. As there's less liquidity in the market, then, there's going to be less spending, which is going to cool inflation. And then also, too, another thing is that gas prices have been so high. There's been research that has shown that once gas hits around $5 a gallon, people drastically drive less than they were driving before. And so what happens when people drive less? They're going to be spending less as well. So we're going to have a situation where, people are spending less money on consumer goods and services, and what that's going to result in is a decrease to our GDP. When July 28th comes around and we find what were our numbers for the second quarter there, I think that we're going to find that we are in a recession right now. And it's not official yet because we have to wait for those numbers to come out. Once you have two quarters in a row with negative GDP, that's what equals a recession. We've already had one. I think we're in the second one right now. We'll see if I'm correct, but we'll know by July 28th. And what happens when we have a recession? Well, people are going to be encouraged to spend less, which is going to cool inflation, which is ultimately good for the inflation problem, but it might not be so great for our economy. It might not be so great for certain businesses, especially ones that are going to be more susceptible to a decrease in consumer spending. So if we go back here to this article, and we swoop on down here. So real estate markets are laboring under the weight of record high prices and rising mortgage rates. So we know that the 10-year Treasury yield is tied to mortgage rates. As that 10-year Treasury yield rises, so too do mortgage rates. So what we're going to see here, as we've seen already, that pop up 14 basis points, I think we're going to see even more. I think, we could see mortgage rates, in the mid fives, upper fives by the end of this month, by the end of June. So mortgage applications also have been declining, with both purchases and refinances seeing pullbacks in activity. Buyers of a median price home are looking at a monthly mortgage payment that is 55% higher than it was a year ago, adding an extra $695 to their expenses. Compounding these pressures, almost 20 states have average gasoline prices above $5 a gallon, pushing living expenses to new highs, especially as employers insist on squeezing workers back into offices, right? So this is exactly what I was just talking about with gas prices. Already 20 states are at $5 or more. As we continue to see that happening, you're going to see less and less and less consumer spending, which is going to result in less, GDP. If we have that negative GDP, we're officially in a recession. Once that happens, it's going to be not too long after that we see housing prices retrace a bit. I think personally that we will see the last quarter of this year, we will see home prices in most markets across the country start to correct 10% maybe, somewhere around there. In Miami-Dade, though, we have so much pent-up demand, and it's impossible to quantify, to measure that pent-up demand, that I think we could see in that same time period home prices, if not correct, then trading sideways, not going up at the rate that they were, or even at all, potentially for up to 6 to 9 months, maybe more. It depends on how long the recession lasts. But there's no way to quantify that pent-up demand, and that's the only thing that's keeping housing prices up. Once that demand starts to decrease substantially, as it has already started, once that continues, as we continue to see more and more inventory, again, Economics 101 graduates, y'all can tell us supply goes up, demand goes down, prices go down, right? That's just how it works. So that's what I'm expecting. That's my prediction. I'll make it right here, right now, is that last quarter of this year, we're going to start to see most housing markets, prices start to go down. Now, what would I do if I was a buyer in Miami-Dade in this market right now? I would personally be pumping the brakes a little bit, holding off and seeing what happens if I didn't need to buy. There are always people who need to buy or need to sell, of course. It's a given. If you are in that situation and there's not much you can do about it, then it's kind of just tough cookies. Make the best of it as you can. Make sure you have a good agent. All my contact info is below. But if I'm an average buyer who maybe they've got a place already and they're kind of just trying to find the right place, I would be pumping the brakes a little bit right now, and I would be waiting for that last quarter of the year. Now, I'm a real estate agent. It does not behoove me to tell everybody, hey, wait to buy, right? Because that's my livelihood. But I'm giving you guys my unbiased perspective from what I would do if I were a buyer, right? And I've been telling all of my buyer clients the same thing, because for me personally, I'm not in it to force people to buy. I'm in this industry to serve people, to be here and to be a resource for anything and everything to do with real estate, and to be someone that you can rely on for honesty and an authentic perspective. So that's what I'm giving you. Whether it helps me personally or not, I'm here to help you guys. So, take it for what it is. If I was on here telling you now's the best time to buy, that would be a little bit sketch, a little bit sus. But I'm telling you guys how I honestly feel. If I was a seller in this market, bro, I would be pumping that gas, son. I would be trying to get my house on the market so freaking fast it'll make your head spin. If I got to paint, I'm going to Sherwin-Williams. I'm grabbing paint brushes as I'm like running out the door. I'm freaking slinging paint up, doing whatever I got to do, fixing drywall, fixing that, fixing this. I'm doing whatever I can to get my house on the market ASAP. I mean, take advantage of the summer months, because this is when usually a lot of people are looking to sell. June, July, August, if you're wanting to sell your house this year and it's not on the market by summertime, you might be missing the boat on getting the top of the market. So those are my thoughts. That's my perspective as a real estate professional here in Miami, Florida. If you guys have any questions about anything I've said in the video, comment down below and I'll respond to all your questions. If you want any more personalized help in the Miami-Dade real estate market, all my contact info is below. Reach out to me anytime. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to help you out. Make sure that you're taken care of. This is what I do. I'm very passionate about what I do, as you guys can tell, and I'm here to help. I'm here to be a resource for you for anything and everything to do with Miami-Dade real estate. So with that said, if you guys enjoyed this video, if you got any type of value out of it, do me a quick little favor, hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell so you don't miss videos like this in the future. You can make sure you stay up to date on the trends, on the vanguard of the market, and then head on over to our little buddy, the like button. Go ahead and smash that guy, and then share this video with somebody. If you know somebody who's looking to buy or sell real estate in the Miami-Dade real estate market, definitely share this video with them and share, that way they have my channel and they can come back and keep getting updated and all that stuff. So much love, guys. Thank you for watching this video. Again, if you have any questions, reach out to me or comment down below. Can't wait to hear from you guys. And until the next one, hope y'all keep on winning, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.